vessels in the future as well. And the 2 cents of candles that I will be making. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica and I run my small business called Looping Teddies. And if you're not new to my channel, you're probably wondering why we're in a different location for today's video than we're usually in, because today we're filming from my kitchen. And that is because today I want to make my new product for the very first time. So if you watched last week's video all the way until the end, you kind of saw a sneak peek of what I will be doing today already. And if you didn't watch last week's video, let me catch you up to speed for a second. So ever since the new year, I've been thinking about what I want my small business to become and to be this year, and then also like in the future. And one of the things that I realized is that I want my small business to be able to sustain myself, and by making crochet plushies, which is what I usually do, I will not achieve that goal ever because I just can't physically make enough plushies to be able to live off of that full time. So right now I'm focusing on finding new products that I want to make that bring me joy and bring me closer to my goal of growing my business. So today we're in my kitchen because we will be making sustainable handmade candles. At the end of last year, I started experimenting with some home decor items made from like eco resin, and at the beginning of this year I bought myself some molds for candle vessels so that I was able to make some jesmonite candle vessels myself, and here they are. I ended up going ahead with 2 different sizes for now, but I plan to make some different shaped vessels in the future as well. So we have the big size and they come with a lid, so you can take this lid off and this is what the vessel looks like from the inside, and then we have a lid that fits perfectly onto the vessel. And then we also have a smaller size, and I also went ahead and tried out a pigment with this vessel, so it's like very like brownish beigeish, and we have a lid for that as well. I'm pretty happy with how these vessels turned out. I started making these a couple of weeks ago, and then I had to stop the whole process because my wax got delayed by a couple of weeks, so I had to wait for like 6 weeks for my wax to arrive. So now we can finally start and go ahead and try out making actual candles. So these are the vessels I made for the first time. Of course, they're not perfect and I still want to improve them in the future. But for now, for testing these vessels and making the first candles, these will be just fine. So today I'm planning to make 1 big candle and 1 small candle. And to be completely transparent with you, I actually made the first candles yesterday because I just wasn't very sure like how difficult this process was going to be, and I didn't want to be super stressed out the first time that I ever tried these. So I already made a small candle and then a big candle back here as well. They still have the whole wick attached, so I will be using these wooden wicks for the candles, and I still need to trim those, but they need to dry for 2 days before they are completely like dried all the way through. So I will be cutting them tomorrow, and for now they're just chilling here in my kitchen and drying all the way off for the time being. And now I feel confident enough to kind of take you guys along because I still have lots of different scents that I want to try out for the first candles, and I just want to take you guys along for the whole process and what I'm currently working on. So let's get into the first step of making some sustainable candles. Okay, so this is kind of the current setup. We have the sealer that we still need to apply for a second time because I've heard that you should do that twice so that the vessel is like leak proof. For now, I've just applied that to the inside of the candle vessel and not to the outside because I really like the feel of this vessel from the outside. So for now, to try these out, I will be sealing them from the inside twice, and I've already sealed them once. So now we just need to seal that again, and of course this one as well. Then we have the pitcher where we will be pouring the wax in and mixing everything up, and then we will pour the wax into the vessels from this. We also have a heating gun back there because we want to heat up the vessels before we pour the wax, just so that the wax doesn't get like shocked when it hits the cold vessel, and that like prevents cracks and gives like more even surfaces and stuff. Next up we have some wick stickers and some different sizes of wicks. So these should be the right wicks for the smaller candles, and these should be the right ones for the bigger candles. But that is actually one of the reasons why we're trying these candles, just so we can see if the wicks are actually the correct size and the burn of the candle is the way that I want it to be, and like the candle burns in a safe way so that the flame is not too big or too small and stuff like that. So I researched a lot for this beforehand, but of course I will have to try that out to see just if everything, like all of the materials that I'm using, are working in the right way together. So that's why we're trying these candles beforehand, before we figure out the right scents and stuff like that for the actual candles that I want to make. Because actually, let me show you, I bought quite a lot of scents beforehand for trying these candles, and then I ended up finding out through a lot of research that I will not be able to use these scents because, as you probably know, I live in Germany, which is part of the European Union, and we have quite a lot of safety laws for candles, which is good, but especially for scented candles. And I could legally use these scents, so like they're completely legal, but the thing that I would have to do is create a so-called UFI code, which stands for Unique Formula Identifier, and that is something that is like, I've heard it's like super difficult, so I want to stay away from that. And luckily there are scents that don't require you to make such a code. Like you have to create it with the safety data sheet and like all of the ingredients and stuff like that. It's kind of a complex process, so I really want to avoid that because I'm not a chemist. So I will be using some scents in the future that are just like so non-toxic that you don't need such a formula identifier. And luckily there are companies out there who specialize in scents that are just non-toxic enough that they don't need such a identifier and such a code. So these scents are just for fun. These are not the scents that I will be using in the future. So these scents are just for creating some candles for fun and trying out all of the materials except for the scents, like my wax and my wicks and my vessels and stuff like that. So I will still be able to test my candles using these scents, and yeah, I just want to use them up and try them out because I already bought them and I really don't want to waste them. So these are perfect for just trying out my candles right now. And the two scents of candles that I will be making, I've already picked out. So the first one, the smaller one, will be this one, which is called Koala Spa. And this smells like really good of eucalyptus and like a very fresh scent. And then the other one, the big one, will be in this scent, which is called Orange Sunrise. And personally, this one is my favorite of the ones that I bought because this is like a very fruity and like fresh scent. It kind of smells like Fanta, lemonade, and well, like very orangey, a very sweet, fresh, fruity, zesty scent. And I really like that one, so I of course want to make the big candle in the scent that I like the most, because I will be trying that out and burning it in my own house. So I really want to make the big candle the one that I personally like the most. But yeah, I think that's enough chatting for now. So let's get into some actual candle making. And first of all, we're going to seal the vessels to give them enough time to dry off and be actually sealed once we pour the wax in. Okay, so that's basically the process of making these candles. I'm having a lot of fun by making these. It's very different than what I've usually been doing in my small business, but right now that is so much fun to make. So I am now done with the small candle and it's cooling right behind me. The cooling process takes around like 2 hours or so. At least that's what it did yesterday. And then until the candle is fully dried all the way through, that should take around 2 days. And then you are supposed to wait for 2 weeks until you light the candle, because apparently that gives the candle enough time, or like the wax enough time, to combine itself well with the fragrance oil, and that will give you the best scent for your candle once it's lit. So that's what I will be doing. And then after that, I will go ahead and get into the process of actually developing the scents that I want to have for my small business. I'm thinking currently that I will start with around 5 to 8 scents. So that will be like the starting collection for these sustainable candles. And then also I wanted to go ahead and tell you a couple of points why these candles are so sustainable. So first of all, let's get into the materials. So the material that I'm using for the vessel is jesmonite, which is handmade. So I hand pour my jesmonite pieces. I bought some molds for my vessels, as I said before. So this is what the big candle mold looks like, and you kind of pour it in at the top. So jesmonite is a very cool material to work with, so it's a lot of fun. And then also it is made from gypsum and then like some acrylic resin, which is better than normal resin, and I can control it how it's made. It's not a vessel or something that I'm importing, so I think that is very good to know that it's actually like handmade as well. And then the other materials that I'm using are soy wax, which is of course better for you than the usual paraffin wax that a lot of cheaper candles are made out of. So it's an all natural wax, it's vegan and it's non-toxic, so when you burn it there is no harmful chemicals emitted into your air, which is very good. And then also I'm using the wooden wicks as I showed you before, so these are just a lot of fun and they are made from certified wood, so that is good as well. And then something else that I'm planning to do for the candles, so when I bought the vessels, I also went ahead and bought the mold for a refill candle. So this is just to be filled with wax, and then once your vessel is empty, you can just go ahead and pop a new candle in there and reuse the vessel for as long as you want. So I definitely want to make these and offer these in my shop as well. So that is something else that I really want to work on. And then I also want to go ahead and package them without any plastic. So I'm looking at some custom boxes right now. I want to use just wrapping paper, no plastic packaging for that. So that is something else that I really want to focus on with these candles. That is like a passion project to make a sustainable type of product, and I'm having a lot of fun making this right now. So yeah, sadly, as I said before, I can't really show you any like burning footage of the candles right now because they will have to dry and cure for around 2 weeks until I am able to actually use them. But that was kind of the whole process of what I'm currently developing. I already ordered some other molds for like different shapes of candles or like candle vessels because I think that would be kind of fun to have like some fun shaped candle vessels like roses. I ordered a cactus and different other shapes like that, so just to have a little more fun with the shape of the vessel and for some scents of the candles. So for example, have like a rose scented candle in a rose vessel. That would be very much fun. So that is what I'm planning to do and develop. And yeah, just getting into candle making right now. I am definitely putting a lot of time and effort into developing these products to make sure they're safe and good and like a quality product. And that is basically what I'm doing right now. So yeah, I just thought I would take you guys along for my product developing process this week. I know this is kind of a very different video than I usually make, and it's probably also quite a lot shorter. So my question of this week would be if you prefer shorter or longer videos, or like what is your ideal video length. So comment your answer down below, and also feel free to ask any questions or give any other comments that you have on this topic of candle making and any resources that you personally found helpful if you are a candle maker yourself. But personally, I can't wait to go deeper into this topic. I have been watching so many tutorials on this topic in the past few weeks, and I'm having quite a lot of fun developing a new product line. But yeah, that is what I've been up to in the past couple of days, and that means we're now at the end of this week's video. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way until the end, and I will see you guys again next week for another video. So until then, bye.